Okay, I think yes. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I think I just want who all are the active people right now. So can you give a response so that I just assume that uh, any active peoples are there? No audio. Yes, Ankush. I think my audio is okay. Fine. I think yes. Good afternoon. So is there everyone will find my audio is not clear? Is my audio is not clear? Okay, I think it's audible to someone, but why so it's not been audible for Ankush? Okay, so is that clear at some part? Okay, fine. So anyhow, I just been clear with my audio because uh, I think most of the responses which I got, okay, fine. So anyhow, I just made it. Wait, Ankush, I just check with that. There's no audio at on its side also. Yes, definitely I will just do that. Wait. Yes, I think now it's fine. Yes, I think it's fine. No, yeah, now it's fine. Okay, I think it's will reloaded now. Right. So hereafter we are not find any difficulty about this. Right. Okay. Like whatever the software, it's very common. It will be there, right? So without bugs, we are not like that. So it will be not only for this. So it will be there for every softwares, right? Okay, even so in last class, what we have been stopped. Actually, we are started. Uh, okay, so anyhow, we are come with this discussion. So in last class, we are discussed about Java IO package. So in that, we already been carried out with this introduction to the streams and file output stream and lecture 2.1.2, that is file input stream along with byte array output stream and byte array input stream, and the same what we have discussed in this lecture, that is a Java file output stream, same as that in that is in Java output stream. What it does, it will convert the means of byte, it will access in the means of byte, whereas in reader and writer class, which is used in the access in the means of characters. Okay, but both will performs a read and write operation with the characters, but here this is in the means of a character and this is in the means of byte. So I think in past 2 or 3 weeks we have made up discuss about these particular thing only, and our next discussion is these thing, that is a filter writer and filter reader and a piped writer and piped reader. So before this, so we have one more topic in this is object serialization. Okay, so I think I will prepare that I to have that. So normally in object serialization, okay, so it is a very deep topic, that is we are deep we are dealing with many things in this object serialization. That's what I just scheduled this on later, because once if you are gone through with this object serialization, here they have mentioned many technologies over there. So even they are, I think we already gone through with this character array reader and character array writer and all. So generally in this serialization, okay, so or else no problem with that. Can I continue with this, or can I continue with that filter output and this filter reader and filter writer, or this one object serialization? So what do you need? Because I want to get some suggestion to follow through with this, so that I can gone through with that particular thing. So definitely I just want to ask some suggestion. So can you suggest like where I need to continue? Whether I just continue with this, because filter reader and filter writer, which is same as we are discussed what we have discussed in our previous sessions. So I think it's very easy to understand too. So after that we are go with this. Definitely it might have very much it's very useful to you. So can I continue with this flow? Yes, I want some suggestion from your side. Okay, Satyam. What about others? Can I continue with this flow? Yes or no? Okay, fine. Thank you for those reply. Right. Okay, so after that I scheduled this Java serialization, because even I just collected a lot of informations about what are all the technologies that we are using in this serialization. Suppose I think it will be displayed to you. So here it has to discuss several technologies like Hibernate, RMI, JPA, EJP, and JMS. Like these set of abbreviations also there. So like these sort of abbreviations has to make like several technologies which is being carried out in this particular sort of method called serialization, right? So I think whenever we talk about this one, we just talked about these particular technologies also. Like I just gone with the preparation of those. So definitely after this discussions that we have made, definitely, because what sort of effort that I made it for you. So definitely see, I think in this presentation I just go with that, like RMI, EJP, JP, and all those things which have been specialized for you, which is prepared for this. So at that time, I just go with that. And now what I'm going to do is I just continue with this flow which you are already been through. Just I want to give an overview. That's enough for this particular topic. That is for lecture 2.15 and 2.1.6. Because so here you have to perform uh, writer and reader with some with a filter. Okay, and here you are perform with a reader and writer with a pipe. Okay, so I just tell the meaning of those, that with that I will make conform with this, and we'll just finish off with this topic by day, because it's very simple. Okay, so once if you are gone with an example, so definitely it will able to understand what it is. Okay, so the filter reader, it's nothing new, because we already been used in several codes, that we are using a buffered reader, right? Buffered reader and buffered writer. So it is one of the hierarchy, that is here the filter writer and filter reader is a abstract class of those. Okay, so it is one of the hierarchy. So that is I think you all been seen that hierarchy in this file output stream, that is in while we are start of this session, while we are starting our discussion with Java IO package. So I think in this hierarchy that you are gone through with that. So filter output stream, so see, so here the filter output stream which is in the means of byte. Okay, whereas the filter reader or the filter writer which is in the means of characters. Okay, but the hierarchy is same, but the means of accessing the data is different. This is for byte, and that is for the uh, like I think you all be remember with this. Okay, reader and writer class, and input stream class, and an output stream class. All these major classes has to perform a read and write operation only. But in the means of byte, we are using this. In the means of character, we are using this class. Okay. And why telling this is because as we have discussed this buffered output stream and data output stream and print stream, because we are using this sort of things in our code in regular basis, like we are being discussed about these particular things in our every code, like in the middle that we are use this particular sort of things. So whenever we are using this particular thing which is comes under this filter output stream itself, so it will be comes under this particular data. So I think I have that sort of code, like filter reader and filter writer, because in that what it will be used, it will use with this particular things only, like what you are already been know, like this is the known thing, that is reader. In that reader we have used what, I think in this we have used that buffered reader to. So I think in this they are not used that one, but so it also same like what we are already being used. Okay, so it is comes under in this hierarchy. Okay, so don't think that that is a new concept. It is an concept that you are already known, because we are already being used these particular things in your uh, code in the middle, like a print stream as well as the buffered output stream and all, right? So please be like, because these steps that you are already been implemented in many codes that we are used in our previous examples. Okay, so here I think they are given an example of this filter writer. So what is the use of this filter writer? So filter writer is an abstract class, and it has holds many methods and classes within that. Okay, so why we are using this, it is the writer which is used for writing the character string. So it is used for writing. So normally you all know what is the use of that writer class. So the writer class which is used for writing the characters, and for reader class we are using to read from the input. Okay, so I think what are all the methods that we are using this in this filter writer? We are use the same method that we are already being discussed in our file writer, like close, write, and write in the means of that is some portion of array has to write. So for that, if you want to write a portion of array, you have to set an offset and the length of an array to print. So even if you want to print a single character, you have use an integer value inside that. So these things are already have been familiar with this before things that you are already being discussed in this concept. Okay, so it is nothing new, because these things you are already being implemented in your code. Okay, and so what is being changed that you have in this? Okay, so here you have some changes that you have made with this filter reader. So what is that? So here you are using some sort of method. So generally, the reader class, in that reader class, what will it perform? It will reads the it will reads the characters. Okay, so it will reads a character from the source, from the input source. Okay, so either it will get the source as a file, either it will get the source as an array, because as we are discussed in many reader classes in our previous sessions, like a file reader. So if it has a file reader, we have to get a source as a file, and it reads the characters from that file. So if you are using a character array as a source, a character array reader, so in that it will takes character array as the source. So as that in this as a filtered character as a source. Okay, so it will reads the filtered characters. No, actually the file reader which is reads the array of the characters from the input source file. So suppose even I have that. See, wait, I think yes, I think this is the file reader example. So here we have given a source as the file. So from this source, I want to read the data from the source file. Okay. So suppose because in this data we have, so I just want to read a source from the file. So what is there? So I think this is the source which has been there in this data test out one.txt. So it will takes from the source file and it will reads the data from that source file. Okay. So it will reads each and every characters which is been there in that source file. Okay. So that is what the file reader does. Okay. Whereas in filter reader, what it will do, so it will takes a filtered source, that is filtered character as a source, and it will reads that filtered character stream. Okay. So every name, so which will be represent itself, like I think Anand, now you are clarify with this about file reader, character array reader, and filter reader, because for each and every name which implies this particular things as a source. So if it has a file reader, we can take a source from the file. If it has a character array reader, we can get a source from a character array. Whereas in the filter reader, we are taken a source from the filtered characters. Okay, so here what set of character that we are filtered from this, so that it will read. Okay, so I think in this example we are gone through with this like so we already been discussed, that is a filtered reader is an abstract class. So we just extending that filtered reader from the other class, so that it will get the methods which has been there in this filtered reader has been used in that particular class. Okay, so for that we are extending that filter reader with some class. So what you are performing in this, so here in this example you are going to perform a read operation. So normally the reader, the what it does, it will performs the read operation. Okay, so what it has to read in this, so here I want to get the source data, which is the get it from that source, and that source data has to read. Okay, so that data which has been get from this reader class, and what set of thing I am going to perform in that. Okay, so I just get a data. So whenever I find the space between that source file, I want to print, I just fill that space with this question mark. Like for that, what you are do, it will reads individual character by character, and whenever it find a space, so it will replace that space with this question mark. Okay, so that is what it will reads. It will perform this method which we given the code here, and after that where it has to print. So what is the source here? So I'm getting from the source, and in that source what I want to do, I want to perform, because I just filtered the data. What I am filtering here, I just filtering from the entire source with this uh, space. Okay, so I just filtered this particular source. So in that filtered data, I just want to fill I just replacing the filtered data with some other data. Okay, so I just filtering from this entire data from this, and I just replacing the data. So I want to read in that particular thing, read with that thing, and I just fill it with this. So now I just run this code. So what is there in this reader class, that is it has to read the data from this code. Whenever I just find a space, so which is filled by question mark in between that. Okay, so here in this way you just filter the characters of reading. Okay, so I think I just show what is there in that c.txt also. Okay, so here already you have been familiar about the reader data. It has to read from the first character till the end of the character. We have used this while loop. and here which is used for printing the readed data to the output console. So what it has to perform, so I just perform this particular thing over there. Okay, this particular thing over my readed data. Okay, so I just open my d colon. So in that c.txt, what is there? So this is my data which has been there in my text file. So whenever it finds the space, so it will fill that space with the question mark. So it will read the entire data. In filter, we have only do modify the data. Yes, not only modifying the data, not only we have do some modifications over there, because it will filter the characters, like what set of things I need to filter from that given characters. Okay, so that is what we have to make ensure that you don't think that it is used for modifying. Okay, even for identifying that particular thing, because we are filtering that particular portions in that entire reader data. Okay, so that is what. So not only this is used for modifying, it is just for identifying that how it has been worked, like how it has to be filtering the data. Just I given an example, that's it. So you don't expect that as a modified file and all. Even that is not modified in that file. See in this, it does not make any modification in this text file, right? The file remains same. Yes, only the reader data which is being modified in that. See in this output, right? So here we are not made any modification in that text file. So we are made the modification which what we read from this. Okay, so even that space also readed, and that will be filtered and it will be filled by this question mark over there. That's it. You have to you are not modifying, we just do the filtering of the characters. That's it. Okay, for displaying purpose we are using that, how it is the filtering the data. Okay, so I think I will show the next example, then you have been clarified with that. Okay, so because almost I'm just like flowing like anything, like I keep on giving some sort of flow, because you have never seen this thing in my lecture, because I just giving a full flow of this, because we have to rush up with this, because these things that you are already been known. Okay, so that is what I directly given this particular example to you as a filtered reader. Okay, now what set of thing that we are made with this? So here, so in previous example, we are taken a file as a source. It has to read and filter the data from the source file. Okay, so here in our next example, what it has to take? It has to take a string as a source. So from that given string, it will read, it will filter what set of source it has to filter, and it will print to the output. Okay, so generally the filter reader which is used for reading the filtered characters. Okay, so that is what here the filtered character as the source, and here we are getting from this source. So from this entire source, what it has to filter. Okay, and that character has to read it and written in that output console. Okay, so here we are performing with this string, and here we are implies with some other methods. So why I am not explaining that a file writer, that is filter writer, because in filter writer all those methods which we implies in this, because already you are new with this, even we are not find any sort of differences over there, like what it a file writer does. Okay, so that's what I directly explained. File reader, that is filter reader. Okay, so in this filter reader, what are all the methods which has been there, which is new in this concept? Okay, so I think in this we have a method called mark. Okay, the mark method which is given in this int read ahead limit. So this method marks the present position in the stream. And one more method which has been there, which is new, because already you have been very familiar with the read class. So in a reader class, of course, we have to read the data from the given source. So it has to perform a read operation. And one more method that we are seeing in this, like in character array, what is that? Ready method. So the ready method, which is used for finding that whether the array is ready to read or not. So same as that, in this we are using this method called mark supported and reset. And the skip method are already we are being used in several readers and all, right? The skip method is already in seen. Only we have been not familiar with this sort of thing, that is void mark supported and reset. So these are all the methods which has been new in this concept called filter reader. Okay, so just I post these particular methods which has been implies in this code, where mark supported, how it works, and mark and reset. Okay, so this is what the method that I implies in this particular code. Okay, so what are all the things that you want to read in this? So I just given an input string, that is love my country. Okay, in that I just made this particular mark supported. What is the use of this mark supported? It will tells whether the stream supports the mark operation or not. What is that mark operation? Okay, so it just tells that whether it will supports or not, that's it. Okay, so the mark supported method, it just tells that whether the stream which supports the mark operation or not. Okay, so what is that mark method? So the mark method is marks the present position in the stream. Okay, it will gets the integer value, as we are mentioned that it will pass the parameter as an integer. So that integer value, what it has to do, it has a read ahead limit. Okay, it limits on the number of characters that may read while still preserving the mark after reading this many characters. Okay, so it has this read ahead limit in this marks. So generally this mark method which marks the present position in the stream. Okay, so now we are dealing with the filter reader example. In this filter reader, it will read the filtered characters from the given string. Okay, so given flow, it will read the filtered data from the given stream. Okay, so I think for that, what are all the methods that we are implies in this? Mark supported, mark, reset, and ready. So the ready is or what are those empty curls braces are there? Where is that chancel? I think line 1 and 2. Yes, yes. I think once if you are listened a previous example, then you come to know about that. What is that? See, so here the filter reader is reading the reading filtered character stream, and it has a, so here this is an abstract class. So filter reader and filter writer is an abstract class. So that's what they are mentioned in like that. Okay, so only we have been used in this. See, suppose in my previous example, I just not given directly that filter reader. It will extend it to another class, then it will performs in that. So that's what I think they'll use. Okay, so only we have extract those methods which has been there in that abstract class over there. Okay, I think Chancel now you can clarify with that. Okay, it's an abstract class, so that's what they are not mentioned over there. Okay, okay. Anyhow, this set of things which makes like whether the flow will be in a right direction or not. Thank you for those doubt. So definitely at any point, if you are find any doubt or any uncomfortable to listen, so please be raise your query. So definitely it will be helpful for me to explain it again, so that it will be clarified by others too. Like in this filter reader, what we are seeing in this, so we are use this ready method. So what is the use of this? So whether it tells whether the stream is ready to read or not. So that is what we are using this ready method. Okay, so if true, then it will go for that read, otherwise it will not. Okay, so here we have given that read method over that characters which has been limited till 17, and we are using a reset method here. Okay, which will implies in this filter reader, which resets the stream. So which will resets from where? So it will resets from the 0 to till 25 characters. It will filter and it will read from that particular portion. Okay, and here in this mark it has to give a read limit ahead. So here it will marks the present position of that, so that we are using that mark. So now what it has to perform in this code. Okay, so I'll run this code. So here it is supported by mark, so that it will that is a mark operation which has been supported in this code. So we are using just a mark supported method, whether it will tells that it will supports or not. So once it has to support it, then it has to go for that, and it will print the character which has been readed from this string, now my country. So out of that which has been filtered from this first character which has been printed this many times, like 25 times, it has to be printed the first character which has been filtered from that, because that cursor which has been marked from this limit, so that it will filter that particular character and it will print this many. Suppose, so if I am giving 5, so now in my second run how it has to be changed, so it will print 5. Suppose if I am giving some other data, so it will act according to that. Okay, so this is what it has to work. That is a filter reader. So it will not only yes, I already told you that whenever you are to use to filtering the data, from where I need to filter. So the mark is what happened. No audio now. Why you are telling in the middle, Karanjit? Is that not audible now? What about others? I think is there any okay, it's barely audible. Okay, it just only for two, not for everyone, right? Because everyone is replying. Okay, because you are not being updated your software. I think maybe that too have a problem. Okay, Satyam, I will do that. So even you can perform it on your own too. So once if you are using that reset, or once if you are not using that reset, so even for each and every part, I just explain it line by line over there. But okay, here the mark method which is used for marks the present position in the stream. So it will read ahead limit. So where it has to read. So read the number of characters. Okay, that may read while still preserving the mark. Okay, so that's what it has to print that particular L in this many times. Okay, so even you just made work on with this methods. So even that will be specified in this. Okay, so what mark? So this marks method which is used for present position in the stream marks the present position where it has to be. Okay, so still my voice is distorting, but okay, so I just again wait, I will check it with my side. Definitely, I will just made clarify with this. So I think it will encoded like this because the code is not like that. So I think some encoding mechanism over there. So I will check out with this. Ranjit, wait for a while. Definitely, I will be rectify with my side. This all up to this filter reader and filter writer. Once if you are gone through with this, if you find any doubt over there, so definitely you might have asked. So even if you are read clearly with that what set of description which is made with that mark, so then you can uh, confirm with that what is the use of that. Okay, so I think now it's been clear. Is that my audio is clear? Yes, my audio is clear or not? Yes, please be mentioned, Karanjit. Because of you, again, I just reloaded and I just has to take this step. Is that fine now? Yes. Okay, fine. I think right. So I just clear. So even I just given those codes to you. So I actually I did not share my screen. Sorry for that. Okay, just I just shared my screen. So I just copy this code and you just made a test on your own because this code which has been not specified in any of this. So definitely you just made a test on with this. Now it's fine. Okay, you just made a test over with this. Definitely it will clarify like once you work on with this code. Okay, so how a filter reader does. Now I think I made my point clear with this. Uh, I think I must open that homework for this filter reader and filter writer. So you just go through with that. If you find any difficulty also you can mention. When I just set the homework date on Tuesday, till Tuesday, even we discussed, after discussing also you can post that comments. Okay, so till that it will open. So do with that. And so can I go with that pipe reader, because the pipe reader and pipe writer also nothing new, because that you are already been discussed by other readers and writers how it has to perform, because it's very simple concept. So with that I can able to continue with the same in my next class too with that. Okay, so I think so I just go with this example. It's very simple. Why we are using this piped reader? So piped reader and piped writer is nothing but so normally we are using a reader and a writer. So reader is used for reading the data and writer is used for writing the data to the output. So whatever data which is used to write it in that output file or any destinated file, so it will reads that particular data from that source file. So here we have to perform a write and read simultaneously. So what we are performing here simultaneously, so we are performing a write method followed by a read method. Like after this write, output of this particular thing will be input to this method read. Okay, so here we are using both write method and read method. That is, output of this write method will be given the input of this read method. So we are performing simultaneously both write and read in a single code. So that we called as a pipe. That is, output of one method will be comes as the input of the another method. So this concept that you called as a pipe. Okay, it will comes as a general pipeline. Like normally if you are using a general pipe that you are taken in real time, so you are taking output of one file will be comes as the input of the another file. So even if you are connecting with the methods or connecting with the file, we can use a concept called pipe. Okay, so here we are using a write method followed by the read method. Simultaneously we are writing three different datas, and after those read writes we are using a read. Okay, so I will run this code. I think you are very much familiar with write and read. So for that reason only I just post this particular thing, because it's very simple example and even it's very simple concept to understand what it is. Okay, so the it will do simultaneously. Normally in our file output stream or file input stream we are writing a single data or a string to that output, but here we are performing a write as well as read simultaneously. That is, output of this method which is given an input of this another method. Okay, so I think what is the difference between piped and the filter? So here you are using a filter reader. So in that filter reader we are so here we are using that filtering those characters from the number of characters. Okay, so here you want to perform the read operation. So out of that it will filter some portions of the data. Okay, some portions, like once if it is identify this, then only it can be able to fill with this. Okay, so it will identifies and it will filters that particular portions only. Okay, some part of that. Okay, so normally the buffered reader and the data reader, what it does, so the buffered reader it has to holds the buffer array over there. After that reading that buffered array, it will print that array to the output source. Like even once if you are familiar with that buffered array, so here we are not So I think yes, uh, yes, I think Tashi raised the question. It's very good question. That is, what is the difference between a pipe and filter? So here we are using this connect method. So connect method, which is used to performing the connection between different methods. Okay, so that is what new which has been there in this. Okay, so we are imposing the different method in the different concepts. Okay, so this is what new with this piped reader and filtered reader. Okay, so in filtered reader we are using a buffered reader. So it will carries a buffer of the characters, like it will holds a number of characters as a buffer. Once it has to print it to the output, then it will print those buffered characters to the output. So even if you are writing a code with a buffered reader, that is also one of the example of this filtered reader, because it is a top class hierarchy of that. Okay, here in this piped reader and writer, we are using this connect method, which is used for connecting the writer with the reader. That is connecting the two different objects. Okay, so connecting the reader object with the writer object, then only it will performs uh, the connection between this output to the input. Okay, so I think this is the method that we are posing in this. Okay, so I think now you are clear with this, Tashi. Is that fine now? Yes, Tashi. Okay.